Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me once again is John Hardie, the Deputy Director of the FDD's Russia program. John, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on.
I want to talk about where exactly we are when it comes to negotiations and ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. In recent days, U.S. officials met with President Volodymyr Zelensky for peace talks in Berlin. President Trump said that he believes that we're closer now than we have ever been to striking the deal to end the Russia-Ukraine war. So to start off the conversation, what are your thoughts on the current state of negotiations?
Yeah, I think we are fairly close to consensus on the U.S., Ukrainian, European side, although there is the very significant caveat regarding territory. That said, bridging that gap between what's acceptable to the Ukrainians and what's acceptable to the Russians is obviously quite a challenge and easier said than done. So once there's consensus on one side, you kind of have to take it to the Russians. I suspect they've kind of been doing that behind closed doors. There may be another kind of Witkoff-Kushner trip to Moscow. That'll be really where the hard work is.
And I think that that gap has really been impossible to fill in recent negotiations. When Russia's happy and they say, hey, we're close to a deal, Ukraine says no, and vice versa. And the big sticking point seems to be territory. And I'm obviously simplifying this a bit here. Ukraine says we are not conceding any sort of territory. Russia says we want the territory. I mean, realistically, what's going to happen here to get a deal?
Yeah, I think you're right. That is one of the main sticking points, although I think not the only one. The security guarantee kind of question is also very, very important. I think on territory, to me, a realistic scenario is a ceasefire along current lines, and you have some sort of demilitarized zone where both sides pull back. That to me is reasonable and realistic. If you think about Zelensky's domestic political environment, in Ukraine, withdrawing from the rest of the Donbass and eastern Ukraine unilaterally, the territory that Russia has so far been unable to take, that's synonymous with capitulation. And Ukraine just isn't, Vladimir Putin is demanding that Ukraine accept a loser's peace, despite the fact that Ukraine has not lost this war. So that sort of thing is just not acceptable.